Hello DevOps friends, welcome to Monospace Mentor. That is me, I'm Jochen, the Monospace Mentor, and today is my office hour. If you're new here, welcome. My office hour is where I take questions from my viewers all around the whole DevOps and SRE area and try and answer them to the best of my abilities, which are based on a few decades of experience in software engineering and system administration, web operations, and similar areas of our industry. If you are not new to this channel, welcome again and welcome back. It's good to have you here. It's a nice Friday. It's been a very relaxed Friday too, because I got the day off. Every last Friday of a month is a day off at my business, and that's very welcome, especially since on Monday there will be a bank holiday here in Ireland, and that means I basically have a 4-day weekend, and so I'm doing great. Praxeus, welcome. I hope you're doing great as well. Praxeus says, my cat has learned how to open the door to the garage. What C libraries can help me fix this? I don't think I can think of any library that might help with that. But isn't there a shell command called cat? Try man cat if there is an option in there for you. Hey buddy, how you doing? Praxeus, for example, is a member of the server room, my community of practice, where we help each other grow in the DevOps and SRE space. And I guess I'd like to welcome more of you in the server room, where we have a great, inclusive and friendly forum. We do regular events like our monthly members hangout. We do workshops, and I'm working on a great project where we will build our own community Proxmox server, and that's going to be called PubMox because it's a quasi-public Proxmox instance, which is going to be great fun as well. So if you're interested in the server room, check out theserverroom.sh. But we are here to answer your questions. As the ticker text and the chat link will tell you, go to mspc.sh/office hour to get to my Q&A board. So everyone can post questions there, regardless if they're watching on Twitch, watching on YouTube, or watching on my own cast live stream at live.monospacementor.com, where you can watch this stream and chat with me, free of advertising, free of any privacy intrusive stuff. So if you'd like to pop in over there, do so. And everyone can post their questions to mspc.sh/office hour. I'll get it on screen here and try and answer your question. So that's it until I get some questions. On the board, I'll simply sit here and have my coffee. Today is a real summer day here in Ireland. We have 20 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm looking forward to go outside later today, and especially looking forward to my karate class, because I had to miss the class on Monday for family reasons, and so I'm very much looking forward. I'm yearning for some karate class, and so this is going to be a great start into the weekend for me. It will be an even greater start if you start posting questions, but don't feel pressured. I still have lots of coffee left. This is all of my questions Kernighan and Richie promised to answer in later chapters. So you're deep in learning C. That's amazing. Pretty sure you're having fun, but let me ask you, are you having fun? I saw a post earlier today about an updated version of Turbo Vision. So if you intend to migrate over to C++ in the future, you can use Turbo Vision to create text-based user interfaces, like we did in the 90s. I still remember coding Turbo Vision applications in Turbo Pascal, not in Turbo C++. And someone did actually take the Turbo Vision library and update it, and so you can use it with modern compilers and stuff. That's pretty amazing. What a blast from the past. You've been trying to figure out why one of their example scripts works the way they say it does. That's a great learning opportunity, of course, if you don't see from the get-go why it does work the way it does, and then getting deeper into that. That is a great learning opportunity. Yes, you could develop point-of-sale software with function keys for selections. It's even got mouse support, so you can actually use the mouse to click buttons and move text windows and stuff. And to Hamil, welcome by the way, says, I started learning coding by Turbo Pascal. Yeah, Turbo Pascal was very early in my programming career as well, back at the end of the 80s. I started with Turbo Pascal 3 on CPM and on MS-DOS, and yeah, I kept using it until Turbo Pascal 6. No, NW and NL are not the same variables. Okay, yeah, that's... I mean, to be honest, those variable names aren't really exemplary, are they? Easy to confuse. Two-letter variable names are only slightly better than single-letter variable names. Still not good, really. But on the other hand, yeah, I can imagine that they wanted to save printing space as well when they typeset that book. Yeah, so much about readable code, right? So for everyone who's just joined, this is my office hour. You can post DevOps and SRE questions, software engineering questions, system administration questions, that kind of stuff to mspc.sh/office hour. And we'll see if I can answer them. Oh yeah, those variable names aren't really usable. How can you tell what these variables mean? C doesn't tell you anything, and then I can guess the number of lines, number of words, number of characters, but you could write that out if you wanted to. So I wasn't too far off. Nice, nice. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, Praxis. There's an ad break coming up on Twitch. If you don't want to get ads and don't want to get tracked or have to log in the first place, then you can try my live stream over on live.monospacementor.com, where I'm running my own cast channel. You can pop into chat there as well. Works just as well as Twitch and YouTube do. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Textbook only, learning from a book is nice. I did that a lot when I started out in the 80s because I started reading computer books and magazines even before I had my own computer, so I couldn't always try stuff out. But yeah, I was very much itching for getting my hands on a keyboard and trying these things and really putting them to use. If you need a learning buddy or an accountability buddy, ping me and we can set up some co-working hours or something like that. It seems to be a slow Friday afternoon today. I don't mind. Let me see. Logical operands and or have priority sets and an interpretive order. Yes, they do. And before or. But setting multiple variables to a constant is backwards from that order. Oh, you mean if you do A equals B equals C? A or B or C goes in that order and stops when returned true. Yes. That's called the short circuit behavior. Because once you get to a true value in this list, it's definitive that the whole OR operation will return true, so it doesn't really make sense to evaluate the rest of the values if the end result is already clear. But A equals B equals C equals 0 is Z equals 0 and B equals C. Yeah, because there's no short circuit behavior here. You can't really short circuit that expression. So it'll execute that expression from right to left. It will do C equals 0 and then B equals C, which is then of course also 0, and A equals B, which is then also 0. And That is simply a behavior of the assignment operator in this case. And the assignment operator will always work from left to right. No, wrong. From right to left, of course. And yeah, thing is, there is no general rule. Each kind of operator will have its own specific behavior. And therefore, it might actually make sense to create cheat sheet, as you said, yeah. If that helps you distinguishing these different behaviors, that makes sense. Yeah, I would do that too. It's getting pretty warm in here. Almost 27 degrees in my little office. So if you're just joined, this is my Friday office hour, where I simply sit here and drink coffee. Except if you post questions to mspc.sh/office hour, because that's why I'm really here. To answer your questions about software engineering, programming, especially Ruby coding, Linux system administration, web operations, SRE, DevOps, all that stuff. If you have any questions that you're looking for, which you are looking for an answer, post it to mspc.sh/office hour. I'll get it on screen for everyone and try to come up with an answer. I'll base my answers on a few decades of experience. I started programming in 1984. I started using Linux in 1993. So it's been a while. I've been around the block. This is your opportunity to ask a greybeard system administrator your questions. A wild Balthasar appears. Hi. How's life treating you, Balthasar? Let me see. I'd upload your coffee, Balthazar, but someone needs to invent the protocol first. All right, we do have a question on the board. Thoughts, opinions on actor-based systems, worth it? That's a good question, actually. And I think I'll have to refresh my memory so I don't get stuff mixed up here. Let me do a quick check if I have the right understanding. Let's see. Ah, yeah, I see. So for concurrent software. I admit that I'm not that deep into distributed and highly concurrent software, and so I can't answer that question usefully from my own experience. That's actually outside of my know-how. I'm sorry. But let's use this opportunity to educate myself a little bit. Let's see. Well, let's go to Akka because they know what they're talking about. So they say the actor model addresses these shortcomings in a principled way, allowing systems to behave in a way that better matches our mental model. The actor model abstraction allows you to think about your code in terms of communication, not unlike the exchanges that occur between people in a large organization. Enforce encapsulation without resorting to locks. Use the model of cooperative entities reacting to signals, changing state and sending signals to each other to drive the whole application forward. Stop worrying about an executing mechanism which is a mismatch to our worldview. So far, this sounds really like basic object-oriented programming, especially from an angle like Smalltalk. This does make instant sense to me. Instead of calling methods, our actors send messages to each other. That sounds like a semantic difference. Because, yeah, in small talk, calling methods is called sending messages. Sending a message does not transfer the thread of execution from the sender to the destination. An actor can send a message and continue without blocking, so it's asynchronous. Therefore, it can accomplish more in the same amount of time. Okay. This all sounds a little bit like a fancy description of stuff that I consider pretty straightforward, actually. With objects, when a method returns, it releases control of its executing thread. In this respect, actors behave much like objects. They react to messages and return execution when they finish processing the current message. In this way, actors actually achieve the execution we imagined for objects. Now, maybe it gets interesting now. An important difference between passing messages and calling methods is that messages have no return value. By sending a message, an actor delegates work to another actor, as we saw in The Illusion of a Call Stack. If it expected a return value, the sending actor would either need to block or to execute the other actor's work on the same thread. Instead, the receiving actor delivers the results in a reply message. Okay, so I hope there's not something in there that I'm missing completely up until now, but what I've seen so far simply means we have more or less independent agents called actors, and they send messages to each other and react to these messages without interacting synchronously. And that's actually something that I want to implement on my company's managed hosting platform, because so far everything is, there are concurrent things, but they're not really coupled. So the way it works and has been working for 15 years now.
It's a Unix system. I know this.
So Risky, how you doing? Is, for example, a customer requests a new database for a website. This database gets stored in the central data store, and our infrastructure automation runs periodically and checks if all the databases have been created, and if not, it goes and creates the ones that are missing. What I want to do is to make this a more actor-based system, where once a customer requests a database, our customer dashboard sends a message to the whole system. There is a new database required, and then we have actors running on our database servers that then go and create that database. And then once they are done, which might have a delay, but not as much of a delay as we have now with our periodic infrastructure refreshment. It'll send a message back that the database that had been requested has been created, and then probably the customer will be informed, yeah, your database has now been provisioned. And I guess if nothing else intervenes, this whole cycle of a request being published and the database getting created, I mean, that should be in the area of seconds and not in the area of minutes as it is now, which of course would mean a great improvement in turnaround time for us. And so this seems to be pretty much to be an implementation of this actor-based model. Stuff is independent of each other. The dashboard doesn't block, or the page doesn't get held up until the database is created, because for some reason it might take actually minutes until it's created, who knows. Things are pretty much decoupled, and everything just reacts on messages like, please create a database, and yes, the database has been created. So from that point of view, if you ask me, is it worth it? It is worth it for distributed systems like this. I'm not sure if your use case actually fits this description, and if this asynchronous and loosely coupling is necessary, or if you could do what in the text that I had been reading is described as simply calling methods where the method call only returns once the method has been executed fully. So it might be overkill to have this kind of message passing and the infrastructure that's required for it, that you are the only person who can actually answer that. But the actor system or the actor model is definitely worthwhile. It's definitely something that can help you build more complex distributed systems without having cascaded blockages throughout the whole system. So I hope I was able to answer that in a helpful manner after all. If I was missing something or it wasn't that useful, I apologize, because I haven't been into distributed software engineering that much. But if you'd like to ask a follow-up question, please go ahead and post it to mspc.sh/office hour. And that, of course, applies to everyone else watching as well. If you have any questions around the whole DevOps and SRE space, be it more dev stuff like engineering questions like the one we had before, or if it's more an operations question like about Linux or shell scripting or stuff like that, regardless, this is all up my alley, and I'd be happy to answer your questions once you've posted them to mspc.sh/office hour. Hi, Mind Explosion, how you doing? I'm doing great. Albeit a little bit hot here. Over 27 degrees now in my little office. And I'm looking forward to getting outside, because the weather won't get much better here in Ireland than it is today. Thanks for asking this question about actor systems, because now I have a name to the architecture that I have in mind for our service provisioning. Innoent over on my own cast channel asks, immutable OSs on server installs, yay or nay? Well, based on my great experience with immutable OSs on workstations, I would say yay. I'll definitely try and give one or two of them a try. I definitely have an eye on Talos Linux for running Kubernetes workloads. And since I have so much fun using Fedora, in particular Bluefin on my workstations, so it's a derivative of Fedora Silverblue, I'm also inclined to check out CoreOS and see how that works. Because, yeah, these immutable systems tend to be really reliable, because updates don't make any changes to the running system. They only take effect once you reboot the machine. And forcing system administrators to reboot machines isn't the worst thing in the world, to be honest, because we do have machines that have uptimes that are, on one hand, amazing. On the other hand, that amazing uptime also means the kernel updates have not been applied for a long time. And so I am not opposed to requiring reboots in the normal system maintenance process. Yeah, I haven't used immutable OSs on servers yet, but CoreOS and Talos Linux are definitely on my radar. Have you used immutable OSs on servers yet? Bazite. So yeah, you share the universal blue experience. That reminds me that I have an opportunity to try out Bazite as well, because hopefully in a few days' time I will get back my Steam Deck from a repair that was necessary. One of the buttons was defective and needed to be replaced. And since I had to factory reset the Steam Deck before sending it in, it needs to be set up anyway. And this might be the perfect opportunity to install Bazite. I think I'm going to try that at least and see how it works. Oh, you do have Bazite on the Steam Deck as well, so tell me, how is it? Great on both. That's amazing. Okay, so yeah, there will be some Bazite in my near future then. That's great. Thanks for the feedback. And yeah, as you say, you're looking at Talos. I'm definitely going to try Talos on my home lab. Yeah, that's the first instance where I'm going to install Talos simply to see how Kubernetes on Talos feels like. And it might then become the operating system that we'll use for our future container-based deployments on our hosting platform as well. NeoQC, hello, how are you doing? Welcome back. Happy Friday. For everyone who's recently joined us, this is my office hour. It's basically just chatting for SRE and DevOps nerds. Post your questions to mspc.sh/office hour and I'll try and come up with an answer. Now I'm all excited about installing Bazite on my Steam Deck. Is the setup process complicated? How do you even go about installing a different operating system on there? Do you need to simply boot from an external USB storage? And then go ahead and install everything? What do you mean the Fedora process? I see, yeah. So you're just, yeah, I have Ventoy on a USB SSD as well. And so it's just going ahead and installing it on there. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, there's nothing I can lose at this point, except completely breaking it, but there's nothing on there anymore. So, yeah, I should be fine. And then it's just the effort of reinstalling all the games and stuff. And setting up... what was that? I had some retro stuff installed, especially for playing Game Boy games for the family. But, yeah, I'll have to look that up again, because that has been a few years since I set that up. End asks, I've mostly set up Kubernetes in cloud, so AKS, EKS, and GKE. What would you recommend for load balancer and storage when you're self-hosting? I've used Ceph in the past when running Kubernetes on the tin. Yeah, but Ceph isn't really load balancing. It's necessary if you want to have load balancing, if you want to distribute your applications across different nodes. So you have some kind of central and shared storage, but in terms of load balancing, that depends. There is Metal LB. Oh, for yeah. So you've been using Ceph for storage, and now you're looking for something that allows you to basically make use of your distributed storage in terms of load balancing. Yeah, NodePort is, of course, Purman's way to do multi-node applications. Then there's Metal LB. Metal LB should help you out there. Let me take a look at that if I'm... Right, yeah, that's the bare metal load balancer for Kubernetes. I think that might be an option. But I'm not sure if Metal LB has requirements that might be prohibitive. I faintly remember something requiring stuff like BGP and things. Not sure if it's that. I might be mixing up stuff there. Yeah, but take a look at that. If you are running your Kubernetes cluster on Proxmox, there is also a load balancer for Proxmox. So if you have a multi-node Proxmox cluster on which you are running your Kubernetes workloads, there is also a load balancer that is geared towards Proxmox use. I am blanking on the name. It might be ProxLB. ProxLB, is it that? Yes. Yeah, by Chip2C. ProxLB. So you're going to run your Kubernetes right on the bare metal with something like Talos. Okay. Yeah, then I would look into Metal LB as well. Hello, Mr. Snobble, how you doing? All right, folks, we are approaching the hour, which means last opportunities to ask a question and see if I can answer them. Questions about DevOps and SRE stuff, of course. Don't ask me life questions. I may have a grey beard, but I don't think I've acquired enough wisdom yet to answer questions like that. But I can also always answer questions around software engineering, Linux system administration, and other tech stuff. Fursnabel got the day off and is therefore, of course, tinkering with shaders. What else would they do? Thanks, Praxis. It's been fun having you here, and of course I will be wrapping things up soon as well, because yeah, the office hour will only be an hour today. Hello, Ayush, over on YouTube. I'm afraid I can't answer that question. That's asking what's the shortest time to be a DevOps engineer is akin to answering what's the length of a string. Inan says I don't want to use Ceph again, though, but maybe I should unless there's something better. I think Ceph is pretty much the default shared storage system. I mean, there are others, and I mean, if you have the time, you can, of course, try something out like... oh dear, I hope I'm not blanking on the name now. I am. Oh, God. Is it something with R? I have this strange kind of memory that seems to be ordered alphabetically, and I often can only remember the first letter. Let me see. Let's simply look for Kubernetes distributed storage. Yeah, ClusterFS is definitely worse. To be honest, I haven't had any recent experience with ClusterFS, but we did use ClusterFS as our shared storage system when we started out running our managed hosting platform back in the 2010s, and we very happily replaced that with MooseFS because our experience with Cluster was catastrophic. They might have improved since then, and so I don't want to slander them, but I can tell you that my experience with ClusterFS between 2010 and 2015 or something like that was really, really bad. So I wouldn't recommend going to GlusterFS, especially since I don't think they very much cater to cloud-native workloads. I am looking for... Yeah, it didn't start with an L. What I was trying to remember was Longhorn. Longhorn is the other major distributed storage system for Kubernetes. And so if you don't want to use Ceph, Longhorn might be a good alternative. It seems to be well received in the community as well. And on the other hand, I'm mostly hearing good stuff about Ceph, also from the Proxmox community, where Ceph is the built-in distributed storage. I'm not sure what experience brought you to the point where you say you don't want to use Ceph anymore. But yeah, for many people it does work well. Praxis Sunshine in Ireland demands it only be an hour today. Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, the weather is perfect outside. It's 20 degrees, sunshine, blue sky. It does not get better than this. Everything else is going to be labeled as a heat wave. And so, yeah, I'll definitely make use of that weather, because my wife actually mentioned that it's going to rain later. I wouldn't mind that either, especially it can rain all at once I'm at karate class. So we'll see. And Praxeus wants to stay inside and do some sea practice because it's raining outside where they are. That's perfectly valid as well. Bethel says Ceph is great, assuming you can dedicate the resources Ceph needs to operate performantly. And I guess the main thing that you need here is A, RAM, and B, ideally dedicated network connections between the Ceph nodes. If you have, if you can dedicate network connections between the nodes, then you get optimal performance in terms of shared storage, or in terms of distributed storage, to be more precise. And so if you can do that, that's perfect. I think in a home lab scenario, you don't need the dedicated network connections, but I guess having enough RAM to dedicate to storage cache and the is it called OSD cache would make sense, of course. Oh, and as Balthazar says, a fair amount of CPU for the whole storage cluster management. Okay. Ema says, do you do modding? Can you teach me some? I don't. I'm sorry. So, all right. There has actually been a question on the board for a while that I forgot about. So let's get that on screen. Yeah, I'm going to answer that very quickly. Have you tried MCP servers? It's all the hype. No, I haven't. I'm not that much into the whole Gen AI stuff in the first place, and I don't really use them much either, regardless if they are hosted or self-hosted models. I'm very much skeptical if they are really helpful, and I'm very convinced they're at least not as helpful as to justify the amount of resources they consume. And so, no, I'm not that into MCP servers. And MCP itself seems to be pretty much vibe coded itself, because just the other day I read an article and a report about the security shortcomings in MCP that don't inspire much confidence either. So my short answer is no, I haven't, and I'm pretty sure I won't. Alright folks, this has already been my office hour for today, and I will pretty much go into the weekend now. I guess maybe I'll be outside and watch something from my YouTube watch list, or take a walk actually before I go to karate class. And I will be back next week, maybe with some live coding, but probably with another office hour on Friday. And if you want to get a notification when I go online again, then don't forget to follow the stream on Twitch or subscribe to the stream on YouTube, or follow my stream's Mastodon account if you want to watch on Owncast at live.monospacementor.com. Also, I'd like to invite everyone to join people like Balthasar and Praxeus on the server room, which is our community of practice where we help each other grow. The whole purpose of this community is help people get into DevOps or level up their careers in DevOps and SRE. We do events like our monthly hangout, membership, hot seats, and other stuff. We do workshops. Shortly, we'll set up even our own Proxmox server for the community, which members at the gold level will be able to use free of charge. And of course, we also have our own community forum where we can have our conversations, where you can ask questions outside of my office hour. And everything is included in a TSR membership. Check it out at theserverroom.sh. And so that's it from me for today. I am very grateful for you to have stopped by, for all the chatting, for asking questions. I hope to talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, and until next time, take care.